GamingBolt presents the 10 biggest video game worlds of 2016. 2016 has seen a lot of open world games, and a lot of them have been truly epic in their scale. Here are the 10 biggest of the year. The Witness. There aren't many open world puzzle games out there. In fact, The Witness just might be the only one. Tasked with solving a variety of maze-like puzzles, the game lets you solve them in a gorgeous open-world environment that looks like a painting. There isn't much point to the world other than determining what order you solve puzzles, but there are a few story elements hidden within that you might miss if you don't go looking for them. Dead Rising 4. While not exactly what series fans were hoping for, Dead Rising 4 has turned out pretty well. It's got a much bigger world than previous games in the series, and there's even more crazy shenanigans to get yourself into. Best of all, or worst, depending on how you feel, the time limit from previous Dead Rising games is gone, allowing you to freely explore the world at your leisure. It's partly because of this that the world feels bigger. Far Cry Primal. Released earlier in the year, many have already forgotten the ancient man approach taken in this year's Far Cry. The game is similar to Blood Dragon in that it used a lot of elements from the main game from that year, with a totally different coat of paint. In this case, that paint job left the game feeling totally unique, and its wide open plains fun to explore. Who doesn't love being able to hunt mammoths? The Division. New York City is overused in games and movies, but every so often there's a piece of entertainment that does a good, honest stab at it. I can't say if The Division is that stab, but it's a fun world to explore. Combining elements of a single-player shooter and an MMO, The Division's near-perfect representation of a post-apocalyptic New York is fun to explore, especially with the sheer variety. You never know what your online friends and opponents are going to do next. Homefront: The Revolution. Another game that didn't receive the best critical reception, Homefront: The Revolution at least has an open world to explore, with several side quests and other things to keep yourself busy with. As stated, New York City is overused, so the many developers involved in this game decided to go with Philadelphia instead, which provides a historic twist to the America under occupation storyline. Mafia 3. Mafia 3 uses its open-world 1960s take on New Orleans to explore themes such as crime and race. Playing as an African American, you'll encounter areas you simply aren't allowed to go into due to segregation, like cafes, stores, laundromats, and others. It's an interesting take on an open-world game, in that it's more of a closed world, using the game's story to make you want to go to these areas you might not otherwise want to. Watch Dogs 2. Like Final Fantasy XV, Watch Dogs 2 is a big departure from its predecessor. This new installment has received a big upgrade in just about every category, from its story and characters to the design of the open world. The new multiplayer mode allows players to seamlessly enter your game and hack you, forcing you to track them down. It's a clever system that gives an already massive world even more gameplay options. Final Fantasy XV. Final Fantasy XV is a big departure from other Final Fantasy games. It's a lot more Western influenced, both in terms of its world and how it was designed. The world is so big, you're given a car to drive around it in, and there are a lot more side quests and optional objectives than before. Whatever your opinion on the latest Final Fantasy, you have to admit that you aren't lacking for things to do. Steep. SSX may be gone, but its spirit lives on in Steep, an open-world snowboarding game. Imagine an open-world racing game like The Crew, but with snow, and you've got a good idea what this game is like. There isn't a lot of variety in what you can do, but the world itself is massive in terms of how much you can explore and where you can race. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was a disappointment, yes, but even we have to admit that it was a big game. There were a lot of at least good-looking worlds to explore, even if there wasn't much of anything to do in them. For their part, the worlds were decently fun to look at, and somewhat diverse in their flora and fauna. There's not much good to say about No Man's Sky, but you can at least say it's got big worlds.
And that wraps it up. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Twitter and Facebook. And why not consider subscribing? We upload some really cool videos almost every day. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gaming!